Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely.
Today we're looking at AI in education.
Okay.
Specifically, how you could use ChatGPT to design role-playing games for your classroom.
No.
I know.
That sounds...
It sounds pretty futuristic, right?
Yeah, like AI designing games.
But it's happening now.
Interesting.
It could be huge for education.
Yeah, I can see that.
And what's even more interesting,
Okay.
it's not just about simple role-playing exercise.
Right.
We're talking about designing what are called salon RPs.
Salon RPs.
Yeah, live-action role-playing games.
Right.
Using AI.
Wow, RBARPing with AI.
I know, right?
That's,
So I have to admit,
yeah.
RPing always sounded a bit intimidating to me.
Oh, yeah.
Can you break down what a salon LRP actually is?
Sure.
And how is it different from just a regular role play?
Absolutely. Think of it like this.
Okay.
You know those murder mystery parties that are so popular? A salon LRP takes that basic concept of role-playing.
Right.
And adds layers of complexity.
Okay.
We're talking developed characters.
Oh, what?
With backstories, intricate plots,
Okay.
and real social interaction, all happening in a structured environment.
So it's like
Perfect for learning.
taking it up a notch.
Exactly. And instead of running around a mansion or something,
Yeah.
these usually take place in a single room
Okay.
or a smaller, more intimate setting.
Makes sense.
Hence the salon in the name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Oh.
It sounds a lot more involved than the simple role plays I remember from language classes.
Right.
But how do these LRRPs actually help students learn?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is it just about language practice?
It goes way beyond just language.
Oh, really?
When you participate in a well-designed LRRP,
Okay.
you're using language naturally and spontaneously to interact with others,
Right.
solve problems,
Got it.
and achieve goals within the game.
Yeah.
You're basically forced to think on your feet
Yeah.
and use the target language in a meaningful way.
So it's not just about memorizing vocabulary lists.
No, not all.
It's about actually applying what you've learned
Exactly.
in a dynamic and engaging way.
Yes.
I could see how that would be way more effective
Right.
and a lot more fun.
Definitely.
But let's get back to the AI piece of this.
Sure.
I'm still wrapping my head around how ChatGPT
Yeah.
can actually design something as complex
Yeah.
and creative as a LREP.
Right. It does seem almost magical.
It does.
The research we're diving into today comes from Brian David Phillips.
Okay.
He's an associate professor who's been studying this very thing.
Interesting.
He's an expert in both AI
Yeah.
and interactive drama.
Wow.
A perfect combination for this topic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what did he find?
Well,
Did he actually create a whole LRP using ChatGPT?
he outlines a step-by-step process
Okay.
that teachers can use to design their own LROPs using ChatGPT.
Okay, so they don't have to start from scratch.
Not necessarily.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
it's surprisingly user-friendly,
It is.
even if you're not a tech expert.
Exactly.
Okay, I am officially intrigued.
Great.
Walk me through it.
Okay.
Where do you even begin with something like this?
The first step is giving ChatGPT a clear prompt.
Okay.
You basically tell it what kind of role-playing game you want,
Uh-huh.
how many players,
Okay.
the setting,
Right.
the general theme,
Gotcha.
and the AI takes it from there.
Okay.
Imagine saying something like,
Okay.
design a 1920s speakeasy murder mystery LRRP for 10 players.
Wow.
ChatGPT can then start generating ideas,
Really?
defining the structure,
Huh.
and fleshing out the details.
Hold on. It can actually come up with a plot,
It can.
characters,
Yeah,
and all the little details of a speakeasy murder mystery.
that's right.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
But isn't there a risk that all the LRPs will end up feeling the same?
That's a great question.
If they're all generated by the same AI.
And it speaks to the creativity of this tool.
Okay.
You see, ChatGPT doesn't just spit out a pre-programmed game.
Oh, okay.
It analyzes your prompt, considers the parameters you've set,
Gotcha.
and then generates a unique scenario
Wow.
tailored to your specific request.
So even if 10 different teachers asked for a 1920s speakeasy murder mystery,
Yes.
they'd likely get 10 completely different LRRPs.
Exactly.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, think of ChatGPT as a collaborative brainstorming partner.
Oh, okay.
It can generate a ton of creative ideas
Uh-huh.
and help you structure the game,
Right.
but it's still up to you, the teacher,
All
to
right.
make it your own.
Gotcha.
You can refine the plot, tweak the characters,
Okay.
and add your own personal touches
Yeah.
to make it perfect for your students.
So it's really a tool to enhance creativity,
Exactly.
not to replace it.
That's right.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. It's not about replacing the teacher's creativity.
No.
It's about giving teachers a powerful tool
Yes.
that can save them a ton of time and effort.
Absolutely.
I can only imagine how long it would take
Oh, yeah.
to design one of these LRRPs from scratch.
It would be a lot of work.
I mean, coming up with all the characters,
Yeah.
backstories, clues.
Yeah, all of that.
That's a lot of work.
You're absolutely right.
And that's where ChatGPT really shines.
Yeah.
Imagine asking it to create a character who secretly knows the victim was running a bootlegging operation.
Okay, yeah.
It can generate detailed character profiles,
It can.
complete with backstories,
Yeah.
motivations, secrets,
Right.
all the elements that make a LRRP engaging and believable.
Exactly.
So instead of spending hours crafting those details,
Right.
teachers can focus on the educational aspects,
Yeah.
weaving in specific vocabulary grammar points,
Okay.
or even cultural elements they want their students to learn.
Precisely.
So it frees up teachers to be more intentional and strategic
Yes.
with their lesson planning.
Exactly.
This is all sounding incredibly exciting.
I know, right?
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
There have to be some downsides. Right?
Well, there are some things to consider.
Yeah, can we talk about the potential challenges?
Of course.
And things teachers should be aware of.
Absolutely. Let's dive into those considerations next. One thing that comes to mind is the potential for bias.
Oh, right.
We know that AI models are trained on massive data sets
Yeah.
of text and code,
Okay.
and those data sets can reflect existing biases in society.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure that the LRPs generated by ChatGPT
Right.
aren't perpetuating harmful stereotypes or excluding certain groups of students?
It all comes down to careful review
Okay.
and thoughtful adaptation.
Right.
Teachers need to be aware of the potential for bias.
Yeah.
And critically examine the scenarios generated by ChatGPT.
So they can't just take it at face value.
No, not at all.
They need to really look at it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are the characters diverse?
Mm-hmm.
Do they represent a range of backgrounds and perspectives?
Right.
Are the storylines sensitive to cultural differences?
Good questions.
These are all crucial questions to ask.
It sounds like we can't just blindly accept what the AI produces.
No, definitely not.
We need to use our own judgment
Yes.
and make adjustments to ensure the LIRPs are inclusive and appropriate for our students.
Absolutely. And that's something Brian David Phillips emphasizes in his paper.
Oh, okay.
He talks about the importance of using AI as a partner,
Okay.
not a replacement for the teacher's own expertise and creativity.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner
Exactly.
who can generate a ton of ideas.
Yes.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
it's up to the teacher
Right.
to shape those ideas into something
Yeah.
that meets their specific needs
Yeah.
and aligns with their values.
Exactly. And that brings up another important consideration.
Okay.
The alignment with learning objectives.
Right. So it's fun and engaging.
Yes.
But we also have to make sure it's educational.
Precisely.
We don't want to sacrifice educational value
Yeah.
for the sake of entertainment.
Right. So how do we make sure the LRPs are serving a pedagogical purpose?
Yeah. How did we do that?
It starts with being clear about our learning objectives.
Okay.
What specific skills or knowledge do we want our students to develop
Got it.
through this activity?
Okay.
Once we know that,
Well,
we can use ChatGPT to design a LRP
Right.
that supports those goals.
can you give me an example?
Sure.
Let's say I want my students to practice using the past perfect tense.
Okay.
How could I use ChatGPT to create a LRP
Mhm.
that reinforces that grammar point?
You could give ChatGPT a prompt, like
Okay.
design a historical mystery, LRP, where players must use the past perfect tense
Okay.
to piece together clues and solve a crime.
Got it.
The AI could then generate a scenario
Right.
where the use of that tense is essential for understanding the events of the story and solving the mystery.
So the grammar practice is built right into the fabric of the game,
Exactly.
which makes it a lot more meaningful
Yes.
than just doing isolated grammar exercises.
Right.
It's more organic.
Exactly. And it's not just about grammar.
Okay.
You can use this approach to target vocabulary, cultural understanding,
Right.
critical thinking skills, any learning objective you can think of.
So the possibilities are pretty much endless.
Pretty much.
I'm starting to see the real potential here.
Good.
It's not just about making learning more fun.
Right.
It's about using AI to create truly personalized learning experiences
Yes.
that are tailored to each student's needs.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And it aligns with what Brian David Phillips envisions for the future of education.
Oh, really?
He believes that AI can help us move away
Okay.
from the one-size-fits-all approach
Yeah, that makes sense.
and create learning environments that are truly responsive to individual learners.
That's great.
It is pretty exciting.
Okay, I'm sold on the concept,
Good.
but I'm also aware that not all teachers are tech savvy.
That's true.
Some might be intimidated by the idea of using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What would you say to those teachers who are hesitant to embrace this technology?
I would say don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is becoming increasingly user-friendly,
Good.
and there are tons of resources available
Oh, that's good to know.
to help teachers get started.
Right.
Plus, the potential benefits are huge.
It's like any new tool.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve.
Uh-huh.
But once you get the hang of it,
Right.
it can open up a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. And if
Yeah.
you're still feeling unsure,
Okay.
start small.
All right.
Experiment with ChatGPT by generating a few character profiles.
Okay.
Or brainstorming some plot ideas.
So just dip your toes in and
Exactly.
see how it goes.
Once you see how easy it is to use
Uh-huh.
and how much it can enhance your teaching,
Okay.
you'll likely be hooked.
You know, we've talked a lot about the benefits for teachers,
We have.
but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how AI-designed LRPs can benefit students.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the specific advantages for them?
Well, first and foremost,
Okay.
it's about engagement.
Right.
We know that when students are actively involved in their learning, they learn more effectively.
Right.
And LRPs, by their very nature,
Yeah,
are incredibly engaging activities.
they are.
They tap into students' imaginations,
Okay.
encourage them to step outside their comfort zones,
Right.
and create a sense of excitement and intrigue.
I can imagine it's a lot more motivating to learn a language
Oh, absolutely.
when you're trying to solve a murder mystery or
Yeah.
negotiate a peace treaty
Right.
than when you're just filling out worksheets.
Absolutely. And beyond engagement,
Oh.
LRPs offer opportunities for students
Huh?
to develop a whole range of valuable skills.
Oh, like what?
Problem solving, critical thinking,
Uh-huh.
collaboration,
Right.
communication,
I'll get you.
creativity, the list goes on.
It's like a hidden curriculum embedded within the game.
Exactly.
They're not just learning the target language,
No?
they're also honing skills
Uh-huh.
that will benefit them in all areas of their lives.
Precisely. And because these LARPs are designed with specific learning objectives in mind,
Okay.
students are getting targeted practice
Yeah.
in the areas where they need it most.
So it's really tailored to their needs.
It is.
They're not just passively absorbing information.
No.
They're
Yeah.
actively applying
Yeah.
what they're learning
Exactly.
in a
Yeah.
meaningful context.
Yes.
So it's about taking learning beyond the textbook
Yes.
and creating experiences
Uh-huh.
that are both educational and memorable.
Exactly. And that's what makes this approach so exciting.
I can see that.
It's about tapping into the power of AI
Right.
to create learning experiences that are truly transformative.
Okay. I'm convinced that AI-designed LRPs have the potential to revolutionize language learning.
I think so too.
But before we get too carried away,
Yeah.
I think it's important to acknowledge
Uh-huh.
that there are also potential risks
Right.
and ethical considerations
Yes.
that we need to be mindful of.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right.
Let's shift gears and talk about those potential challenges.
So we were just talking about those potential downsides
Yes.
and ethical concerns
Uh-huh.
surrounding AI-designed LRPs.
Right.
What are some of the things we should be watching out for?
Well, one concern that often comes up is
Yeah.
the issue of over-reliance on technology.
Oh, right.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of using AI
Yeah.
and forget that it's just a tool.
Right. So we have to be careful.
Yeah.
We don't want teachers to become so dependent on ChatGPT
Right.
that they lose sight of their own creativity
Uh-huh.
and pedagogical expertise.
Exactly. The goal is to strike a balance.
Okay.
We can leverage the power of AI.
To generate ideas,
Okay.
structure games,
Right.
and even create characters.
Right.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
it's the teacher who brings the human touch,
Okay.
the pedagogical expertise,
Right.
and the understanding of their students' unique needs.
It sounds like we need to guard against the temptation
Yeah.
to see AI as a quick fix.
Uh-huh.
or a replacement for good teaching.
Absolutely. ChatGPT can be an incredible asset.
Yeah, it can be really helpful.
But it's crucial to use it thoughtfully and intentionally.
Right.
And that includes being aware of its limitations.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure.
What are some of the limitations we need to keep in mind?
Well, for starters,
Okay.
ChatGPT is only as good as the data it's trained on.
That makes sense.
So there's always a risk
Huh?
that it might generate content
Okay.
that's factually inaccurate,
Right.
culturally insensitive,
Yeah.
or just plain weird.
It's like a brilliant student
Yeah,
who occasionally needs a bit of fact-checking and guidance.
that's a great analogy.
Thanks.
Teachers need to be vigilant about reviewing
Okay.
the LARPs generated by ChatGPT,
Right.
ensuring that they're accurate, appropriate,
Okay.
and aligned with their teaching goals.
It's almost like a two-step process.
Yeah.
First, the AI generates the raw material,
Okay.
and then the teacher steps in as the editor,
Right.
refining
Right.
fact-checking
Okay.
and adding their own creative flair.
So it's collaboration.
Exactly. And that editing process is crucial.
Okay.
It's where the teacher's expertise really shines.
Right.
They can tailor the LARP to their specific students, their learning objectives,
Yeah.
and the cultural context of their classroom.
Speaking of cultural context,
Yeah.
that's something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
How do we ensure that these AI-generated LARPs
Right.
are culturally sensitive and inclusive?
That's a really important point.
It is.
And it goes back to the idea of careful review
Okay.
and adaptation.
Right.
Teachers need to be aware of their own biases
Right.
and the potential biases
Yeah.
that might be embedded in the AI model.
Yeah.
They need to critically examine the characters,
Right.
the storylines,
Uh-huh.
and the language used in the LARP
Yeah.
to make sure it's respectful and inclusive of all students.
It sounds like a lot of responsibility rests on the teacher's shoulders.
It does.
Yeah.
But I think that's always been the case.
That's true.
Good teaching requires careful planning,
Uh-huh.
thoughtful reflection,
Right.
and a willingness to adapt and adjust
Yeah.
based on the needs of our students.
Right.
AI can be a powerful tool to help us in that process,
Right.
but it can never replace the human element.
So the key takeaway here
Yeah.
is that AI can be a valuable partner in designing engaging and effective learning experiences.
Yes.
But it's up to us as educators
Right.
to use it wisely and ethically.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot
Okay.
where we leverage the power of technology
Yeah.
while staying true to our pedagogical values
Right.
and our commitment to creating inclusive and enriching learning environments
That's
for
right.
all our students.
I think this has been a fantastic deep dive.
I agree.
And I, for one, am feeling incredibly inspired. It's so exciting to think about the possibilities that AI opens up for education.
It really is.
I agree. It's a time of great innovation.
It is, and experimentation, and I can't wait to see how teachers around the world
Yeah.
embrace this technology
Right.
to create truly transformative learning experiences for their students.
Okay, before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
If you're a teacher who's intrigued by the idea of using AI to design educational games,
Yeah,
don't be afraid to jump in and explore.
exactly.
ChatGPT is a powerful tool
It is.
that can help you create engaging and effective learning experiences.
Absolutely.
But remember to approach it with a critical eye,
Yes.
a thoughtful heart, and a commitment to putting your students' needs first.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And remember to have fun.
Oh, for sure.
Designing LRPs can be an incredibly creative and rewarding process.
Definitely.
So embrace the challenge.
Yes.
Experiment.
Uh-huh.
And see what amazing learning adventures you can create with your students.
I love it.
That's a perfect note to end on.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI-designed LRPs.
You're welcome.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Yeah.
keep learning,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep.
Breathe deep, close your eyes, and surrender to the cards. Let the rhythm of the symbols take you far. In the dance of the arcana, see your story start to bloom. Every flip, every turn, it's like magic in the room. Tarot trance, feel the vibe, let your spirit take a ride.